What's up, guys? Intellitech Studios here, and welcome to episode 44 of Vacuum Saved. So, we've got plenty of new vacuums here, and we're going to be showing them all off. There's some of them that I've had for a little bit longer that I haven't included in Vacuum Save, mainly the Panasonic. But the rest of these are fairly new. So, got these. So, we've got a Panasonic Panasonic Platinum Quiet Force. This one I got from the VacMaster 2020, so that's all good. I got this Hoover Preferred from Restore, this Bissell CleanView swivel pet, which was a curb find, this Dyson DC14, which I got this at the same time I got the Eureka Boss Power, but I didn't feature it in that vacuum save, at least I don't think I did. This Miele U1, this Auric XL2 Ultra, this Miele U1 I got from Garrett, this Dirt Devil Power Express, which I don't even remember where it came from, to be honest. I think I got it from somewhere, probably a thrift store, given the sticker, and I gave it to my mother-in-law for a brief period of time, but instead I gave her the green one, the one that I bought brand new a couple years ago, and took this one back, and I'll probably end up giving this one to my friend for his shop since he needs a relatively small vacuum. So then here is this Intellitech stick vac. Here is this Dirt Devil VersaClean, which I bought. I don't really know why I bought it. And then here's this Bissell Featherweight that I got for $5 at a Goodwill. So yeah, this Dirt Devil, by the way, also came from a Goodwill, this VersaClean. So both of these little stick vacs came from Goodwill. So, sorry if my voice sounds really bad, I don't feel good. So, lugging these machines up and down the steps was really hard, especially the Miele, since it's really heavy. So, we'll go ahead and start with that. Miele U1, pretty famous vacuum, famous by me for being heavy. This thing is just a beast, and not in a good way. Like, I can kind of lift it, but it's really heavy and it's really uncomfortable. It is, if you can somehow ignore the weight, though, it is a really good vacuum. So, although strangely enough, there's no cord clip, which is the same thing I complained about on the Musu. In fact, the cord feels very similar to the Musu, despite the Musu being a much, 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 much cheaper vacuum. So yeah, that's that. So we'll go ahead and plug this in. Alright, so this was a pretty good deal. I only paid about $100 for this, and I don't remember exactly how much it was after shipping, but it wasn't a crazy amount. So, very good deal. It works really good. I need to get some more bags for it, but I don't know if I will anytime soon, because I don't think I'm going to daily drive this machine because of how heavy it is, but I do really like it. It filters really well. It cleans a lot better than I thought it would, and the attachments in particular are really excellent, and it actually comes with all three of them, which is nice. It's got a cute little dusting brush, upholstery tool, crevice tool. So we'll go ahead and turn this on and turn on the brush roller as well. So it's got a brush roll switch and a power switch. So, that's the U1. Alright, so next is the Dyson. Just a basic DC14. It's one of the newer ones, which I actually don't own one of the newer DC14s, at least not until now. And, yeah, the previous owner said that this was their daughter's vacuum, and it started making a funny noise, so she stopped using it. So, not sure what, I assume that means the clutch is bad, since that tends to happen on these. And, ooh, that looks like drywall dust, which is not good. It looks like it actually got past the filter, and as a result, probably in the motor. For some reason, this side of the HEPA filter wasn't clicked on, and this part's a little worn, as if it's a little chewed up, as if they tried to change the filter. That also isn't in all the way. It's actually not too bad. Oh, actually, so the brush is not turning. Yeah, that brush is completely locked up. Yeah, even though it's in carpet mode, this brush is completely seized. I put it in bare floor mode, same thing. This brush roller completely, oh, that is really jammed on something. I'm pretty sure the only way I'm able to force it is because the belt is probably slipping, which probably tells me that this definitely needs a new brush roller, or at least needs new bearings in the brush roller. The brush itself looks okay, but the bearings don't look good, and the housing is very squeaky. Lower hose is also a bit clapped. What is this from? 2008. Okay. So, since it's from 2008, it probably needs a clutch as well, or clutch belts at least. Hopefully the clutch itself is fine. So I can just obviously save some money by saving actually a good amount of money by just buying a set of belts instead of buying a whole new clutch assembly, which a clutch assembly is $50. Belts are like $12. So, of course, since the brush roller is seized, I'm not going to put it in carpet mode. I'm going to put it in bare floor mode. Hopefully that means the screeching won't be there, but let's see. Smells pretty bad too, and of course there's a couple chewed spots on the cord they taped up. So, not great, but physically the Dyson's in okay condition. So, but it still needs a refurb and needs a lot of parts. So, not a lot of parts, but you know, it needs a lot of wear parts, because it, based on the smell, it needs filters, needs a good clean on the Cyclone. Definitely needs a brush roll, and possibly a clutch or clutch belts as well, and of course attachments, but I do have a set of attachments that'll fit it. So yeah, 14, pretty typical. Someone misused their Dyson, sucked up drywall dust, and the drywall dust clearly seized up the bearings in the brush roller, so not good. Next we've got this Bissell. This is the Bissell CleanView Swivel Pet. Very similar to the Powerlifter Swivel Pet that I've already done a video on. So, yeah, pretty nice. Not really. Although this doesn't have the same handle splitting problem that the Powerlifter does. So this one is definitely a lot better. So, this one I already cleaned up Like, I spent a lot of time cleaning this up, and unfortunately all that work pretty much went to waste because the brush roller on this is completely shot, and it sounds like a chainsaw. Yeah, so wasted a ton of time on this, only for it to not really come out all that well. Although it does have suction, it does work, it is clean, and all that stuff. I didn't clean the turbo brush though, because who cares? But yeah, so could be worse. Could certainly be worse. So I just need to buy a brush roller for it, and then I'll be good to go. Although Bissell did offer to have me send this to their warehouse. I just need to find a way to actually get that sent. I keep forgetting to do that, so I'll do that and see how that goes. They'll probably not do anything, but who knows? Or they'll probably make me pay for a replacement brush roller, since that's not covered under warranty. But hey, what can you do? So, that's that Bissell. That's all cleaned up, but still needs a brush roll in order to be really good, as far as functionally wise. Alright, next we have this Hoover Preferred. It's not called that, but it's what it's colloquially known as. It just says Hoover. And, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. It's kind of hard to describe. It's almost like a weird, like, wind tunnel, but, like, turned into a Bissell or Eureka of some kind, or even a SIBO? It's weird, but this thing definitely did need some work. But it does work, so that's good. And it needs a little bit of TLC. A lot of it is yellowed. The lower cord hook is actually snapped off as a result. It didn't come with any attachments, but I took the attachments from one of my broken wind tunnels, specifically the blue one. So it has attachments now. Even though it's not quite long enough, I put a HEPA Type Y bag in there. Not Type Y, Type Style 7, but Style 7 is the same as Type Y, really, for the most part. So put a belt on it, and other than that, it's pretty good. So the pedal release does usually work, but it sometimes just works when it feels like it, and sometimes it doesn't feel like working. But yeah, so that's that. Go ahead and give it a run. So this thing does work, and it does clean pretty well, but it's very loud. And it doesn't seem loud in like a defective sense. It actually does seem like it's fully working. These are just loud machines, which is weird because it is a bypass machine, even though it sounds like it's a direct air machine because of how loud it is. It even takes Hoover Type Z bags, technically speaking, but it's a clean air, so really bizarre machine. Definitely cool to have, or I should say cool to use in that sense, that it's kind of bizarre. And I do like the styling of it, but because of how loud it is, this one will be sold. So, because I realistically, even though I like the way it looks, it's too loud. I'm never going to use it. So, I'm really trying to downsize my collection at this point, and I will do a collection video very soon. So, there will be a lot of machines for sale that you'll see, but this is one of them. So, yeah, this machine's for sale. The yellow 14 is for sale. That Bissell, I'll sell it at some point. And this Auric is also for sale, as is this Gmo, this Dirt Devil, and the other Dirt Devil. So most of what's in this video is for sale. I'll keep the little white Bissell Featherweight, Panasonic, and the Miele, and that's it, at least out of this video. So, but yeah, this does work, but it will get sold. So if you want it, let me know. And now the Auric. I just installed a new belt on it. Still has the original bag, but that will probably get changed. So this is an XL2 Ultra, very similar to the red one I have. It's missing the emblem, but one difference is that instead of it having a 2-speed switch, it has a single-speed switch, but it has an LED in the switch for some reason, which I guess is kind of cool. I've never seen that before on an Auric. It doesn't change when it's on. It's just when it's plugged in, it's just always red. It doesn't matter if it's on or off. It's just a red LED that just shines when it's plugged in, which is kind of useful because you know when it's, getting power. But you can see even when it's on, it doesn't change. Headlights do work as well, so it needs, I guess it doesn't need, but it could use a replacement of that little like squeegee underneath. If I can show this. So it could ideally take one of those little squeegees. The brush roll's good. So, and that squeegee is only really useful on hard floors, so probably not going to bother. But who knows? We'll just go ahead and run this. It's a little loud, a little bit louder than it normally would be, so it might need a fan. It had a lot of dust in the back of it, so it probably needs one of those housing pieces or whatever they're called. So it's not perfect, but it does physically work. So yeah, a little loud, leans forward a bit, but it does work. This one is also for sale, by the way, but I'm probably not going to do any more work to it other than put a bag in it, so it's up to you. Alright, next we've got this Gmo thing, which I feel like I've seen these before. Yeah, it says Gmo. It's just a basic hard floor vacuum. It has the exact same hard floor attachment as the INZ. So, only a different attachment fitting, so proprietary fitting on this one, which I don't like. It does have a cute little brush attached right there that you can flip down. So we'll see if this works. Sounds pretty clogged to me. Other than that, it does seem to work. So, I'm not going to do much with this. I have a couple friends that need vacuums that think they don't need vacuums because they have hard floors, but obviously if you have hard floors, you still need a vacuum. At least for, even if you don't use it for your hard floors, you at least need it for your upholstery and whatnot. So, I'll probably give this to one of my friends who has hard floors and insists that they don't need a vacuum, but I'll just give this to them so they can just have it. Because you can't get anything out of these pieces of junk anyways, so after it gets reviewed, it'll just get given away. So, that'll be fun, kind of pay it forward. But yeah, sounds like it just clogged. It needs a bit of a tune-up. Alright, now we've got this basic Dirt Devil VersaClean. There's no filter in it, so I need to put a filter in it. But other than that, it does work good. The cord on this Bissell Featherweight is rather short, so can't really do much about that. But this is model 3105-2. And is there a serial number on here? J98309. So I assume that means the 309th day of 1998. Pretty interesting. So seems like this would pair really well with a 90s vacuum. Everything's good on it. These wheels are just hard plastic. These aren't even rubber. Doesn't seem the best for hard floors, but you do have a little brush right there. And it does have the filter in it, and I did clean the filter. So yeah, we've got an old school Bissell featherweight, nice little hand grip right there. So I'll try this out on the floor since that's what it's designed for. But also means it's going to be louder. Other than it shooting a little bit of dust out of the exhaust, it seems to work well. So that is that. And now for this crappy little Dirt Devil Power Express. Just basic Dirt Devil you can still buy, not much to say about this. Sounds a little bit clogged, and it very obviously has a worn out belt. So I'll need to put a belt on that and possibly unclog it, or maybe just clean the filter. Maybe that's why it sounds clogged. Who knows? But just a basic tune-up on that thing. Finally, we've got the Panasonic. So this thing right here, I got this from Backmaster 2020, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And it works really good. So I just had to put a bag in it because one of my other sets of bags that I initially put in it, the collars actually dry rotted, so I couldn't really put it on without it breaking plastic bits off. So that's why I have a Riccar bag in it instead of a proper Panasonic bag. But hey, it's Panasonic. It's model MCUG729. And I did buy a HEPA filter, or a pre-motor filter for it since it was missing, although it's a little bit too long. And I don't have anything to cut it with right now, so it just kind of sits beyond the filter mesh. But side to side, it does fit. It's just I believe it's a Kenmore filter. And it also has a Kenmore post-motor filter that's actually inside the bag door, which is a pretty basic one. There's a way to take off this actual cover to get to it. Like the cover of the cover, if that makes sense, because that filter does need changed, but it's fine. So of course I gotta make sure this goes above that. There we go. I did have to mess around with this brush roller to get it working because it wasn't working quite right with the belt and everything, but I did eventually get it. So it's a very nice wood brush roller. And this base plate wasn't on all the way, so I had to really wrestle with it to get it on, because for some reason it wasn't on right when it was sent. Rubber coated wheels, very nice. Really like this vacuum now that it's up and running, and I definitely don't regret the money I spent on it. In fact, funnily enough, I just realized this matches my pants. I swear I did not plan that, but that's pretty interesting. I'll have to remember to wear these pants every time I do a video on this thing. So that's fun. This matches my outfit. Black and green, can't go wrong with that. And it has a bare floor switch, which is nice. And power switch isn't up here, it's actually down here. Auto height adjustment as well. So does actually auto shut off the brush roller when it's upright, which is nice. So yeah, one of the last Panasonics that we ever, well, not the last, but one of the last Panasonics that we got in the US market. I actually was going to buy the very last one, but some jackass is marking them up on eBay. So, yeah, right as I was going to get one, they doubled in price. And then I just kind of stopped caring after that. And that's even in the ugly green color. The blue one is even harder to find. So, really unfortunate that Panasonic is not making vacuums in the US anymore. I have to specify in the US because they are still a force internationally, just not here in the States. So, yeah, unfortunate, as this is a very nice vacuum. But hey, it does still have its problems. Obviously, that's broken, so no extra wand on it, and no dusting brush or upholstery tool as well. So I get why these things kind of fell out of popularity, but the old jet flows were really popular for a while. So yeah, definitely one of the machines that pioneered the clean air machine, and I think that's a pretty good note to end on. So yeah, nice new Panasonic in good condition. But yeah, I don't really know if I'm going to keep my other Panasonics, because I don't know if I really need more than one, because if you try one, you really try them all for the most part. But yeah, Panasonic Platinum Quiet Force. And that's that. This is Intellitech Studios signing out with another episode of Vacuum Saved. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.